Alrighty. Welcome, everyone, to the Young, Motivated, and Creatives podcast first ever video interview. First ever.
Yeah,
with Gennaro here. We got Gennaro, my lovely companion, compadre. Yeah. And over here, we have Chris Wilson with the Fresno FC. Your guys' games are crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
And thank you for letting us come to the LAFC game. That was blew my mind. He had been in an FC game before, and he was like, "You gotta come. These games get crazy."
I think we converted him that day, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't
Fresno
taken the scarf off since.
I haven't. I don't feel like it. He's got his hat. I gotta get some of those.
I know. Yeah, not bad, huh?
How much?
I think like $65.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll pay that. I'm gonna stick with my scarf for tonight, though. It's cold out here. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's not even. No, it's November, so I guess. But it's the valley. It's supposed to be like 95 degrees in December.
Yeah. Should be, yeah.
Come on now, Gennaro. But also, just want to thank all the firefighters out there that are putting their lives out on the line every single day right now with what's going on in Butte County, even down in LA, what's going on. It's just crazy. And now we're here in the valley and feeling a little bit of the residual effects with the smoke. But just send our condolences for everyone who's lost their lives or their homes out there.
Absolutely.
We're here to help any way we can. But Chris, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell the people out there listening.
Oh, well, first off, thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be here with you guys, and I really appreciate it. I mean, anything that's going to tie into my hometown of Fresno in this community and growing the game of soccer is something that I want to be a part of, and I know that you guys have a great mission ahead of you, and so thank you for having me on. A little bit about me, born and raised in Fresno, California.
Fresno.
Love this place. I'm very proud. Edison High School alum.
Shout out Edison.
Very proud Tiger, and graduate of Fresno State, so go Bulldogs as well. I've worked in professional sports now I started my first internship year in 2011, so actually right here for the Fresno Grizzlies. That was the very first time I got to work in pro sports and got the taste of it, and I fell in love. So before I worked in sports, I actually worked in education. I worked in after-school programs and did some coaching and things like that. So I've always been kind of tied into the community and to youth sports. But yeah, really kind of got my first opportunity to work in sports. Then I moved away, and I went and worked on a coaching staff for the San Jose SaberCats, which was an arena football team, no longer in existence.
No.
I got to,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, they're great.
They sound cool. SaberCats.
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 Sorry,
pretty
fun.
Even better.
Yeah, there's like fireworks inside of the arena.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So that was a really cool opportunity, but then I got my first full-time job back in Fresno here with the Fresno Grizzlies. I worked here for a number of years, and throughout my sports career, I've kind of bounced around a little bit, but I went and spent some time working for the LA Galaxy, and I also spent a little bit of time working with the San Jose Sharks. But now I've taken a position this year in 2018 with Fresno Football Club as the Vice President of Operations, and it's been great ever since. This is our inaugural season. I've been blessed to be part of a really awesome organization, and I'm back here in my hometown, so it's really something that's kind of a perfect storm.
Yeah, it's a win-win for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. With someone as young as you, I mean, that's what we're all about here at Social Culture. We're growing this network of like-minded individuals who are young, motivated, and creative, and that's the whole basis of why we're doing this, is to connect the community, connect our viewers, and hopefully the world with other people who are like-minded and not wasting time, just getting things done, doing what they need to do, what they feel they should be doing. So take us through, I want to know this. Take us through a day in the life of what you would do, of the VP of Operations.
Okay, yeah, so minor league sports is really kind of a crazy lifestyle. You wear a lot of
like
different hats. Yeah, you do a lot of different things. So my job is I balance a few different things. I balance team operations, so I deal with all team travel. So whenever Fresno FC is on the road and you get to watch them on TV playing an away game, I set up all of that, all of those things. So from the plane ride to the bus to their meals, their hotels, everything dealing with their staff over there. Yeah, so that part's really fun. That part of operations.
The funnest.
Right now, during kind of the postseason type of situation, we're working on re-signing players. So I deal with the league on all the contracts, drawing up, what type of bonuses the guys get, and what their housing situation
is. This is the guy.
is.
This is the guy.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
never mind. The guy.
But yeah, it's fun. And then the other part of it is just kind of the stadium operations part, where on a game day, I get to come in here and make sure that everything flows the way it should, from security to all the guest services to the fan interaction to the game on the field and actually running the production side of things. So I do a lot of different things. I balance dealing with some corporate partners that we have here at the stadium. So really, when it comes to sports, I kind of just do it all. Everything under
one man show.
Yeah, no, we've got a great team. We've got a great team. But it's fun. It's a blast. I wouldn't want to do anything else, and I love what I do.
Awesome. And you guys got a game tomorrow, right?
We've got a game tomorrow. Yeah, we play against Club Leon from Liga MX. They're a 7-time champion. We watched them train today. Insanely impressive. The professionalism of that top-class type of team. So it was nice.
Sweet. Got some competition, or we think we got this?
It's going to be an uphill battle. I feel really confident in the Foxes that we're going to come out strong. We've been training for a month for this game in particular, so although we're at the USL level, which is one level below Major League Soccer, and their Liga MX, which is the top division in Mexico, I think we're going to have a good showing.
That's going to be killer. So is there any key players we should look out for this game and maybe even coming up next season? Do you guys got any new players or any key players that you're planning on starting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this game is nice for us because we get to bring in some trial players and maybe some players that didn't get to play throughout the season and give them an opportunity to compete at the highest level. So I'm really excited about some of those trial players that we have next year. Maybe somebody can come in and score a couple goals or make a big impact and make the team for next year. There's actually 9 trial players that are here in Fresno right now. So these guys are going to get a good opportunity tomorrow. The guy that I always look toward is our captain, Juan Pablo Caffa. I mean, he's a tremendous player. He's an Argentine national. He played in Spain professionally against Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he played in La Liga in Spain. So he's an amazing player. He's a great leader, and he kind of is the glue to our team. So we're going to build around him. He's a central midfielder. And so everything's kind of built off what he can do and distribute through the midfield. So we're really excited about having him back next year. And really, we're keeping our core group of players together, which is really good. Being a first-year club, it's challenging to get that synergy and cohesiveness to make your team win.
You guys seem like you got it down pretty squared away
we had,
already for this first year.
We had a really good year. I think it was a success. We didn't make the playoffs, and that's really our goal, is to get to the playoffs. But I think we've got a really good core group of guys, and it's just adding to that and going into year 2 of knowing how to play together that's going to make an impact. And the other guy to talk about is our MVP of the season, which is Pedro Ribeiro. Pedro is Brazilian. He did a fabulous job. He actually started the year as a striker, and we ended up moving him kind of through the lines, and he ended up in kind of like a holding midfield position, defensive midfield position, and he was great. I mean, he scored some amazing goals. He made Sports Center top 10, which was really cool. Exposure for our club as a first year.
If you guys didn't see it, wow.
Yeah, look it up. Pedro Ribeiro.
It was
incredible
killer.
Goal, like almost 40 yards out. It was a screamer.
It was awesome.
Those are really the 2 guys that I'm really excited about seeing their progression with our team next year.
That's awesome. And even though you guys may not have made the playoffs this year, you guys did make some pretty good headway with the community. Being this first-year club.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Everyone's talking about the Fresno FC. Your branding is on point.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing, especially without in the community connecting with, man, it's been killer.
It's awesome. I mean, I think that's one thing that we really wanted to show was that we're Fresno's team. I mean, there's Fresno State football and Fresno State basketball and all these other great sports teams that have, and Fresno Pacific Soccer's been around a long time. They did a fabulous job. But this is really the first team that's made up of this is us, and this is Fresno's team. We're not an affiliate of, another team that's sending us their players temporarily. These are guys that we sign. They're living in Fresno. Their wives are here. Their kids are here. And
family.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, they've become family. And so something really important for me in my career is that I love this place. I love Fresno. I've had the opportunity to move away a couple times, And there's something that always brings me back to wanting to be here. And so working for a team that can be a sense of pride for the community is something I take a lot of pride in.
That's awesome, and especially with it being, you're saying, the inaugural season for Fresno as a whole, and you guys coming out as the Fresno FC. And I remember you saying one time when I think it was the day we actually first met at the LAFC pregame.
Yep.
And you were telling me the reason behind the Fox mascot and why you guys did that. Can you say a little bit?
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was super interesting.
Kind of like the cool history of soccer in this community. Fresno State soccer had been around for a long time. Fresno Pacific Soccer has done a really good job, but the Fresno Fuego were kind of the first development of professional type of soccer here in Fresno. So there was a long heritage of quality soccer here. And so when Fresno FC came in, it's a pro club. They wanted to be kind of a new thing and make sure everybody knew that it was different from the Fuego. We decided to call ourselves Fresno FC. And so that was just the name of the team at the very beginning. Didn't have a mascot. Didn't have any type of branding other than that. We had our crest here, which kind of represents the valley and where our roots lie. But we knew we needed something a little bit more that was going to tie us into the community and represent us a little bit better. So Jordan Wiebe, who's an incredible creative talent that we're so blessed to have, is our marketing director. And he found some things that were inherent to Fresno. And one thing that was inherent to Fresno was this fox. And so, I mean, if you drive around the country often, you'll see the foxes kind of running around. And there's even a story just north of River Park where they built like the butterfish area. There was like all these foxes that live out there, and so they kind of scurry around. But the fox represents being resilient. And so the fox can go through many different types of weather, and they just endure so many things. And so the fox kind of represents who we are as Fresno. Often we're resilient people, we're hardworking. There are struggles that we have, but we persevere through those things. So the fox kind of represented that strength of the valley and the strength of Fresno. And in some of our logos, wherever it is, the fox has red eyes, and the red eyes represent the history of the Fuego. So we wanted to kind of pay homage to where soccer's come from and represent the people of this community.
That's deep. You heard it here. Yeah, that's awesome. Crazy. See, I thought I heard it before, but I love hearing it. It's so cool. I don't know. I don't know what me. What did you think?
No, I thought it was good. I think definitely myself being born and raised in Fresno, people will like ask me, "Oh, you're from Fresno? Like, what is there to do now there?" But
people are not from here.
Now I can talk about the Fresno FC, the Foxes,
right?
And I hadn't heard that story before, so it's really interesting.
It's awesome. I think that same thing. I grew up here. We're all young people that have lived here. There's sometimes this like self-loathing thing that happens in Fresno that I really hate.
I want to move out.
Yeah, you want to go different
Get out of
places.
the valley.
Yeah. Exactly. Like everyone's looking for the chance to leave,
for sure.
or they don't take sense of pride in where you come from. And for me now, like I think our next generation, like your kid, my future kids, like they're gonna grow up knowing a different Fresno that we grew up with.
Yeah,
and Fresno's cool. Like it's got a good downtown. There's a good vibe. Growing up in a community where you can come to professional soccer games and see your team play against a first-class talent like Leon tomorrow, like that develops that sense of pride of like I love living in Fresno and I'm proud to be Fresno. So that's what I hope we can kind of put off.
And I like it. A lot of the businesses that had moved out are coming back into the Fresno community. I know Bitwise is doing some crazy things,
Awesome.
especially down here. Making me want to be a part of it. gotta connect with them.
There you go.
If you guys know anybody over there, connection. Let's do it. So, what is the whole? I know you kind of basically, I guess you recapped it, but what's the whole goal of the Fresno FC and what you guys are here to do, not just soccer?
Sure. I mean, we want to be here for the long term. Our owner, Ray Beshoff, is he's an English guy. He was actually an orphan in England.
Oh, wow.
Who ended up moving over to the United States and kind of living out the American dream. He came over, he got into car sales, he worked his way up through sweat equity into becoming an owner of local Mercedes-Benz dealership. And now he's actually part owner of the Fresno Mercedes-Benz dealership. So he's a guy that believes in this community. He believes that this community deserves professional soccer. He actually came out to a game a number of years ago. It was LA Galaxy versus the San Jose Earthquakes. and he saw 10,000 people in the stands cheering on soccer, this just amazing culture that was here, and he's like, this place deserves professional soccer. So he put together a group, and they made it happen. We have pro soccer here now. So it's obviously our goal to grow with the community, and to be here long term. So in working with the USL wants every single team to have, which is the United Soccer League, soccer specific stadium within the first X amount of years, and develop a soccer academy, and so proper professional soccer clubs are just engaged with their community. They help kids in their community aspire to be professional soccer players. And so something that we want to do over our future is just continue to grow our roots in this community, connect more on the youth side with soccer, connect more with local academies and local high school soccer, club soccer, to be a pipeline for the kids in our community to play pro soccer. So currently we have kind of 2 homegrown talent guys. Christian Cheney, who went to Bullard High School, is actually our striker now. He scored 7 goals this year. So he kind of pays a testament to, we are going to invest in our local talent that's here in Fresno. Yeah. And Renato Bustamante is our other striker, who's actually a product of Fresno Pacific University, and he's laid roots here now. So we just want to be part of this community and be able to give back and be a sense of pride for everybody, and really just grow soccer.
That's awesome. We're feeling it. Me not being in the whole soccer community realm, never really was into soccer ever, right, being totally honest. And then I came to the game and I experienced it, and that sense of family and what you guys are doing there, even with your fire squad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was the first time I ever met them.
Yep.
They treated me like family.
It is.
And it's just like got me into. I'm like, woo, it was so much fun. We were doing the chants, everything over there.
We gotta get you on the drums next time.
The drums broke. I was so mad. I was like, I should have brought my bass drum. Yeah. They were going at it. They were still doing it. It was like I just thought looking at it from like an outside perspective, taking myself outside of while I was in the fire squad there, especially at the LA game. Yep. It was maybe 50, 60 people against 1,000+ people on the other side with like 20 drums and a bunch of people, and
they only let us have 3.
Yeah. They wouldn't let bring in those sticks. They tried to not bring in this.
They were afraid of us.
They were afraid. We put up a good fight.
We did.
That's Fresno.
That's right.
LA. Take that.
The home games are tight. I mean, I've been to a few. Planning on coming tomorrow.
Awesome.
But yeah, the fire squad, they're
the best.
They are the best.
They're absolutely the best. I mean, supporter club, like, that's what makes soccer.
Oh, for sure.
Soccer. Awesome. When you see the European games or the big games in Mexico, like, or even MLS now, it's just those guys are what make the atmosphere. They make soccer different than any other sport. I didn't grow up a soccer guy either. I was actually a baseball, football guy. I was actually kind of anti-soccer for a little while. I went through that phase where I was like, no, I don't like it.
I don't want soccer.
Yeah. But I started working for the Fuego when I was with the Grizzlies, and I just fell in love. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, it's tribal, it's communal. You feel like you're part of it when you're at the game.
So true. You guys need to come to one.
Gotta come to a game.
Please. Tomorrow even. Tomorrow's game. What time does the game start tomorrow?
It's 7:30.
7:30
Wednesday.
7:30, Chukchansi Park in Fresno. Come check it out.
That's right.
Also, I want to see I want to know how does it feel, or I guess how do you navigate out there when you're talking to a lot of these bigger corporations? I know what you do. How does it feel being a young vice president of operations for a company and a franchise that's doing such big things and getting a lot of media attention and doing like that? How does it feel? How do you go about doing it? Like,
I mean, I think there's often times where I'm the youngest person in the room, and
heard that,
and and I take pride in it, because I knew the moment that I stepped into sports, like, I was gonna let everybody know what my goals were and where I wanted to go, and more so than people looking at me and kind of seeing like, this guy's young, he is in over his head, whatever. They were helpful, and they're like, all right, you want to get to that next level of coordinator from an assistant or a manager, director, and now vice president. Like, everybody's always been super supportive of me, and it's been great. And I thank my parents big time, because
shout out parents.
Shout out to all the parents out there. They always just said, like, do whatever you want to do, as long as you like go out there and kick butt at it. Like, we're gonna support you. If you want to do one job today and be a chef tomorrow, we're going to support you to do that.
By all means, do it to the best of your ability.
Just do the best you can, and we'll be there for you. So they always have, and people have just been really supportive. I've found good mentors to surround myself with. But yeah, is that a keyword of the day?
I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you. I'm going. I don't want to lose your train of thought. You continue. I'll say it
But
after.
anyways, being a young executive is something I take a lot of pride in and I enjoy. And I mean, there's times where it's challenging because I think people look at you and they may not give you the instant respect that you might have if you're older. So I've just always taken it upon myself to elaborate, to have good conversations,
carry yourself at a higher caliber,
and give the type of respect that I want to get back. And so what I've noticed is, when you lean on people and you let them give you advice and you're courteous to their expertise, often they want to be helpful to you. So I've found a lot of good people to surround myself with. So I think that's where I've had success. And something I really enjoy is like empowering those around me, because I can't do it all on my own. And the reason I've had success is because we got really strong teammates and they like uplift me when I'm down or when I'm struggling through things. Like I've got a good core group of people around me that really provide for me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So to go into it before I forget my train of thought now, I think it's so cool they're talking about that. Just in our podcast last week, we were talking about the law of association, and I went on a rant of, surround yourself with wise company. Me and my wife, ever since day one, before my parents, when they were raising me, it was always surround yourself with wise company. And maybe I took that. I just talked about it in the last episode or last podcast episode. If you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was literally, I was going on. I can count on my hand the number of friends that are my age that I actually associate myself with, that I can talk to and get good advice from. The rest of my friends that I call dear friends, 40, 50, or they're married with 3 kids and they've already gone through it. And same thing as my wife, we're both like-minded, and that's what we've done. We'd rather learn from their mistakes than make them our own. That's how we were both kind of raised. And we talked about the law of association of the people you surround yourself, and the whole the wise old tale of you show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. And I've kind of taken that to an extreme at some points, but I love it, and that's what I live by. And we just talked about this about you got to make sure you surround yourself with the right people, and people who are here to support you and edify you and build you up, not to tear you down. Even if that means making some hard decisions of either family members that you got to limit your time with and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
it's perfect. It's like he knew. It's like he knew.
We scripted that.
No, it was on point.
Awesome. Well, before we go, is there any spoilers you can give us?
Ooh.
Without putting your job in jeopardy. If not, it's okay. It's okay. You can put it sealed, but
Gotta find a good spoiler.
It's a good spoiler I could say without getting in trouble.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's the process that's happening right now.
Well, we'll come back to that. Something that I wanted to ask. I'm kind of the quiet one of the group. I'm just kind of sit here,
You're just the pretty face.
That's all you gotta do.
But I often have like words that I want to say, but I'm trying to process it. So something that I want to get out of this podcast and being here with you, doing a live interview, and Brandon is, I want to work on myself, and I want to be able to someday like communicate without stuttering. Well, maybe not stuttering, but
I stutter.
Being able to get my words and what I'm thinking out clearly. I wanted to ask you, what do you do like for personal development? Do you listen to podcasts? Who do you listen to?
Yeah.
Who's somebody,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I was the guy that was up there in my college class, like shaking,
sure, yeah.
reading a paper,
Public speaking.
in my first public speaking class, and I was nervous as hell, and like I sucked at it, and I wasn't any good, and I wasn't confident, and I didn't know what the hell to do when I got in front of like a microphone. I got really scared.
Yeah.
And somehow
Hide the mic.
Yeah. Somehow through some of those classes and just gaining more confidence, I realized that like I don't have to overthink everything when I'm talking. And sometimes I would do that, and I would be afraid of what I was going to say before I said it. And I just grew a little bit more confident in myself and being able to just speak and be okay with it. And sometimes realizing too, like silence or just thinking about something is okay. in
Yeah.
talking. And so one of my favorite speakers is President Obama. And when I listen to him speak, he just has such a positive cadence. And
He speaks with authority.
he speaks with authority and with confidence, but sometimes he also takes these really like thoughtful pauses that allow people to soak some things in. And I think for me, those are things that I try to work on, because I'm just like always go in every aspect of my life. That even in my speech, sometimes I do the same thing. So being able to kind of just like calm myself. But I listen to sports talk radio every single day. Probably shouldn't.
No, in your position, it's good to.
But, yeah,
you got to stay in tune with everything that's
Sometimes
going
opinion
on.
is, you can agree and disagree. But, there's a couple people out there like Colin Cowherd, Rich Eisen, that I really enjoy listening to them. And I think they have very thoughtful approaches. So I don't listen to a ton of podcasts. I mostly listen to sports talk radio. But when I listen to those guys, they provide some type of introspective that like makes you think a little more deeply about
You can get it
things.
from anywhere. You
Yeah.
can really get it from anywhere.
So my personal development, definitely, maybe not
Sports Talk Radio. Personal development, Sports Talk Radio.
Yeah, that should be a plug for ESPN Radio or Fox, whatever.
ESPN.
Don't
at me.
sponsor this show.
Actually, that reminds me, I do want to thank some of our sponsors. One, I want to thank you and the whole Fresno Football Club for letting us, if you guys don't see it right now, we're in the stadium. We're in the concourse area, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dude, behind me, somewhere this way, I don't know, is the field. Super cool. I thank you for letting us come out here and record our first video interview and making us look really good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. Spoiler. All right. It's not a big one because I can't say a whole bunch, but I can talk about a player that we just signed. Really proud of this signing. He was our first signing of this offseason. His name is CJ Cochran. He just played in Nashville last year. He played a couple games on loan with us earlier this year and was phenomenal. Not to mention, he's just a top quality guy and somebody who I think is going to bring our team even closer together next year. So be on the lookout for CJ Cochran next year.
CJ Cochran. All right. Before we leave, I want to thank you and thank some of our sponsors as well. Fresno Fiat for giving us a car to come out. We got the we got the was it the Fresno 5 or the Fresno? We got the Fiat 500X out here. We'll make sure to throw in some shots and put their logo down here somewhere, wherever we're gonna put the logo, as well as Atlas Active. Check it out. I don't got like that.
Yeah, like this.
Atlas Active.
I need one
Homie
of
Jesse
those.
for helping us out.
Yeah,
We'll make
we'll get you
Jesse.
some
We're
stuff.
gonna make sure to
Yeah.
get him some Atlas Active apparel. Also, thank you. And is there anywhere that people watching can go to find you? Some of your handles.
Yeah, C Wilson 12017 is my Instagram.
Oh, say that one more time.
C Wilson 12017 is my Instagram. Post a lot of stuff about Fresno FC.
does.
Some of the other cool projects that I'm working on. You can check out a little bit of my life there. Other than that, FresnoFC.com has a lot of awesome information about the team and obviously about us. And I'm also on Kremen Council with Fresno State.
There we
So
go.
be looking for things with Kremen School of Education and my involvement with them. So that's me.
Perfect. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, remember, always stay young, motivated, and creative. Alrighty.
This feel like my chance, this feel like my moment. Everyone needs a fan, everyone needs a close-up. Let me see your hands up high if you know one. Let me see your hands up high if you know one. Nobody's a no one.